Hi friends, welcome to season 2 episode 9 of Gemma Darling Daily. I'm Danielle and I will be your host. Everyone knows me as Danny, so you're welcome to call me that. I'm Gemma Darling on Ravelry and Instagram and pretty much anywhere that you want to find me. So if you'd like to find me on the internet, that is how you can. Today I look a little bit like Farrah Fawcett. Usually it's something I go for, but it's a little bigger than usual. I am a Jersey girl, so we are known for our big hair, but and this is actually tame. You should have seen it today. It was humongous, and oh well, that's okay, right? Sorry, not sorry. I am in my pajamas because I was gonna podcast before, but I had such a full weekend of seeing my friends, which was so wonderful, that I just was so tired. And then Franny started jumping around on me and all my curls fell out, but I still thought I looked presentable enough to podcast when she finally closed her eyes and went to sleep. And yeah, it's not every day I get to do a face and makeup, so I kind of took advantage of it, and I just could not keep on my dress any longer. So next week, well, you know, next month, when I do another podcast, I'm gonna wear my pretty red dress, and I'll look more presentable for you. I don't even have any jewelry on. I have like a tiny little ring, and do I have any jewelry here? I have my, oh, it's my Harry Potter bracelet. Okay, I have my Hogwarts shirt on, right? Christine, Minnie Mobius. We have Hogwarts shirts. They're from Target, by the way. Target men's department has the best shirts. I think they're like 2 for $20, and it's like Star Wars and, you know, The Sandlot, You're Killing Me Smalls, and like all Harry Potter stuff. So guys, girls, guys and girls, I highly recommend. They're actually really soft, and they wash up really well. So I buy them to wear around the house and then, you know, to Food Town, where I look like I'm 12 because I have all this stuff on. Anyway, this is the bracelet that I got for my birthday from Vanessa Reyes, who is my fiber friend, and it's got the Deathly Hallows on it, and so it's sitting up here. I don't know why it's up here, and I must have worn it in my last podcast, but let's put that on so at least I have some jewelry on. Harry Potter themed today. I'm a Ravenclaw. Any Ravenclaws out there? I'll meet you in the common room later. Yeah. Okay, it's obviously time for me to go to sleep. So let's get this show on the road. I've actually done a lot. I've seen a lot of my friends in the past month, which is so wonderful. You guys are just such a blessing in my life. And I have bought a lot more than I should have, but it'll be good for you guys when I destash it. But so I have been out and about. First off, a while ago, I had a sewing class with Slow Fashion Rebel. It's Emily Peterson. She's Slow Fashion Rebel on Instagram. That's her brand. And if you guys watch the interview that Christy Glass did with her, it's wonderful, and you really get to see the background of how she's such a good sewist. And so I had asked her to give me a couple tips, and she's like, well, I can give you classes. And so I was like, okay. So I met her in the city. I met her in the Garment District, which is on Midtown West. And she took me to her favorite fabric store, which is B&J Fabrics. Let me show you the bag. Of course I got something. I really had no business buying this fabric. I had no business doing it. I've really only sewn like a fabric bag, a project bag or two, and I had no business buying this fabric, but it was gorgeous. So it's B&J Fabric, bnjfabrics.com. And it was probably like the Barneys of the fabric world, because these fabrics were expensive in there. They were. I mean, I'm sure I could have bought something that wasn't expensive, but for some reason that's just not my style. I really fell in love with it before I looked at the price tag, which is really stupid. Anyway, I wanted to make this dress. I've been trying to make these summer dresses that are just boho chic, throw it on, one and done. And so I wanted to make this pattern right here. These are Vogue Very Easies. As you can see, it's VP 970. Yeah. Oh, I read that backwards. But I want to make this incarnation of it. Okay. And because these are my favorite summer dresses. I literally live in them. You know, it's really hot. Franny and I, we hang out on the deck a lot. You know, she's riding bikes and stuff like that. And I just like to throw on a dress in the summer. There's this brand that I love from Australia called Spell and the Gypsy Collective, and I look at these pieces every single day, and I buy them when they're on sale because their prices are ridiculous. And it's just rayon. They're just these boho chic dresses that you throw on. And I was like, you know what? I really should learn how to make some. So I found a pattern at Joann's, and I brought this with me to show Emily, and she measured me and told me how many yards I would need. And so we went to the fabric store, and I fell in love with this fabric. And I don't know, I don't know if I'm actually going to use it for this dress, just because I've never sewn a garment before, I've never sewn a garment before, and I don't want to waste it. It's really, really gorgeous. So I think I want to be a better sewist before I use it. But I am going to make this dress in this fabric at some point when I'm a little bit of a better sewist. But, okay guys, it's a little bit boho chic. So open your minds, relax, open those minds. Okay. I don't know why, but I really, really love it. And it's light and drapey, and I was looking for a rayon, even though I really do like to wear more natural fabrics, but you know, the rayon is just so light and airy in the summer. But this is actually a cotton lawn, which is such a nice light fabric. So I'm really happy that I chose it. I picked up this other pattern and it was really loud, and I was just kind of like, let's go for it. And Emily goes, that is going to be all over you. And I was like, that's a really good point. Let's find something a little more muted. So I found this. I think I'm going to put a little bit of like a plum piping with it, you know, to separate some of the, like down here where the skirt meets, I'm going to put a piping, and maybe like up here in the bust. I thought maybe I would do that to like break it up a little bit. Maybe if I become a better sewist, I can find a complementary fabric and put a couple fabrics together. But it's got these like this gold in it, and the light pink and the purple, and I just really loved it. And you know, the bad thing is when I go shopping, I see the finished object in my head, but I don't always get to the finished object. So I buy the fabric as if it's the dress, and it's not. So I need to buckle down and get there. I did put up a video if you guys want to follow what we did in the garment district that day, where we went, where we ate. She took me to this place called District, which was so good. And then I took her to a trimming store, and my favorite trimming store is East Coast Trimmings. And I'm kind of smitten with their wall of Hannah silk, which is this hand-dyed silk. Guys, look at this. Look at that. It's hand-dyed. I'm like such a sucker for hand-dyed things, right? Look at that. And so I used to make jewelry, and I was thinking that I might be able to fashion these into bracelets some way, like really pretty silk bracelets. So stay tuned for that. I think I might be revamping my Etsy store because I'm just kind of getting like, I want to play with my beads. I'll tell you why in a second. So I bought a little bit of this. And it's not cheap, so I need to start pulling myself back and actually making stuff. I need you guys to kind of light a fire under my tush and make me do it, okay? So that's what I got, and throw it on the floor. So that's what I got when I was out with Emily. If you guys want to learn how to sew, she is a master. She makes gorgeous garments, and she's really good at only buying what she needs. So she'll teach you how to do that, the differences between all the fabrics, and she can take you to, like, if you don't want fabric as expensive than this, she knows all the fabric stores in the garment district. So Slow Fashion Rebel on Instagram. If you guys want to learn how to sew, contact her. I'm sure that she would be happy enough to give you private classes. So Gemma Darling approved. I actually really love her. I'm glad we're becoming friends. She's a really, really interesting, wonderful, down-to-earth, smart, fun person. So thanks for the class, Emily. I had a great time. Okay, next. You guys know I'm friends with Nicole Wachinski, and she's NickWitch9 on Instagram if you guys want to follow. She actually goes on some pretty good little excursions there because she works in theater, and so she's always going out and about. But she and I have been exploring local yarn stores, and there was one in Summit, New Jersey, which is not far from me, and it's called Wool and Grace. And who doesn't like Will and Grace? And it's a takeoff on that. So I was like, you deserve a visit. And, you know, their website and all of the stuff on the web doesn't show too many pictures. They are Wool and Grace on Instagram. So you get like kind of an idea of what's in their store. But I put a video up on my Gemma Darling Daily channel if you'd like to see the inside of the store and what they offer. But it was such a wonderful experience. It's a gorgeous store. They have such an eclectic array of yarn, which is really great when you're going in there with a bunch of patterns and you're really interviewing yarn for a lot of different things. I'm going to show you what I got. You're not going to be shocked. Let's just put it that way. If you've watched the video already, you know what I bought. You're not going to be shocked. So you get this cute little bag. It says Wool and Grace. And I like when stores give out paper bags. You know, they're eco-friendly. They don't last too long, but you know, they're recyclable. I really do like that. Unless you're going to give out a bag that is, you know, something that's reusable. I really like just the plain paper bag. I think it's good for the environment. So there you go. All right, let me show you the little things that I got first. They have Cocoa Knit stitch markers. If you guys don't have these, you have to get your hands on some of them. These are the larger ones, okay? And I love them. I've been knitting my Tecumseh with them. And what I do is I separate them into colors and I will knit in the rainbow. So if my stitch marker is green, I knit the pink, then the orange, then the yellow, and then it leads me into the green. And I know when I'm getting closer to the end of the round. I know that sounds weird, but that's how I do it. So I'll put in like 5 pinks, 5 this, 5 that. And in the rainbow of colors, it leads me around to my stitch marker so I don't miss it. Because sometimes when you're knitting something like the Tecumseh where there are repeats, I just slip that stitch marker and not even thinking, and I keep going and I'm like, this is a different row. So I am Tink Master Flex, like I tink really well, but I don't like to. So if you do that with your stitch markers, if you color code them, you'll know when you're coming to the end of round, and of course the stitch marker for your beginning of round is different color. But if you do that rainbow, you know when you're getting to it. Fun tip there. Anyway, Cocoa Knits though, they're the best. They're metal. They're just the best. I got the Eucalyptus in Eucalyptus. And I just really like eucalyptus smell. My mother loves lavender and I'm not really a fan of it. Oh, I love eucalyptus. I buy so many eucalyptus candles from TJ Maxx and my brother-in-law comes over and steals them. I really did. I found him stealing them one day. He had them tucked under his arm and I was like, dude. So now I buy as many as they have and I plant them all over my house so that he can just take them. He thinks he's stealing, but I know he's taking them, so I plant them for him. Anyway, my sister married the best guy, like second to my husband, maybe not even. They're pretty much on the same playing field. I've known her husband, because they started dating when they were 16, so I've known him for like 20 years now. He's like my brother. He is so funny. You just laugh when you're with him. He's wonderful, and he treats her like gold, platinum, whatever is the highest, and we went to the pool this summer a lot and he kept calling me, you going to the pool today? You going to the pool? And he was just living his best life on that water slide. And it was just so much fun to watch. I'm very happy that my sister married someone so wonderful because she's happy all the time. She really is. And, you know, of course you want that for your sister, but it's amazing. They're just like best friends. Anyway, that was a tangent. Get to know the family. Okay, so this is what I bought from Wool and Grace, and guys, don't get shocked, okay? It's my glazed pecan, and it's a different base. I don't have this one. So it's Madtosh. Let me show you nothing there. I guess they have all of their stuff. Madtosh, and this is their worsted weight. It's in glazed pecan, but like, look at the color. It's so rich. It's so rich, guys. It's so rich. You all have your pumpkin spice lattes, and I've got my glazed pecans. I'm so tired. So I bought this. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it because it's worsted weight. I am interviewing yarn right now for an Andrea Mowry Weekender, and we'll talk about that later. This is a contender, though there are dye lots and sometimes they're a little different, but that may look nice because you have to alternate skeins anyway, so it might give a nice stripe to it. It's just such a rich color, so I think I'm going to do it in this. We'll see. Anyway, I got that, and then I got this. Mad Tosh. Now, I bought 2 skeins of this. Look at this. Okay. Guys, can you see it? Can you see the sparkles? I'm not really someone for stellina. It's just not my style. This is iridescent pink stellina. Can you see it? I had to buy it. I had to. I like regret that they only had 2 skeins of it. It's called Barbara Deserved Better. And what else does it say here? Tosh Merino Light, color, Barbara Deserved Better, wool and grease. There was something else on this that I wanted to. Oh, it's called Tosh Merino Light plus Hollow Glitter. So anyone that's trying to find this, it's the hollow glitter, H-O-L-O glitter, and I guess that's a certain type of stellina that they had. But I just thought it was the most beautiful skein. I have something I'm going to pair it to with that we'll talk about later. So let me put this down and just keep moving on because I actually have a lot to talk to you guys about. And I don't want this podcast to be that long, and I think it already is. All right, so that was my visit to Wool and Grace. It was a wonderful store. Like, guys, 5 out of 5 stars. Go. They had this really cute little window space that you can sit and knit. It was an embroidery store also, so they have a wall of embroidery floss. I just really enjoyed it. They had so much Brooklyn tweed there. They had all of the Mad Tosh unicorn tails. The whole store is full of samples, so you can like try stuff on. They had Andrea Mowry Comfort Fade Cardi to try on. They had like so much stuff. I don't actually know if they'll let you try them on. I assume so, but I don't know. But it's just, you know, sometimes you want to knit something, you want to see it first. I want to know, like, let me try on a small. Should I make a medium? I'm really bad at picking sizes, so I think it would be really helpful if I could do that. But I just really love the store. You know, you walk into a store, sometimes you're welcomed. Everyone says hi, or how can I help you? And then they left you alone to shop. And she let me pull out the camera. It was just really, really wonderful. I believe the owner's name was Patty. Don't quote me on that because I am very bad with names. I am like Finding Dory. Do you guys ever watch it? I suffer from short-term memory loss. And it's not because I'm not interested in you. It's just because I forget things in a split second. My poor husband, he's always like, you were just talking about something. Did you finish the thought? I'm like, nope. It went away. Anyway, I really love that store. So guys, Wool and Grace, please go visit. Please. Okay, so then I went to, let's see, New Jersey Sheep and Wool Festival. And that's not actually the name. I think it's New Jersey Breeders, something like that. I don't have the thing with me, which I really should. I'll put it in the down bar. But I went there to do specific things. There are a couple booths that I missed just because I was wrangling Franny and I just missed them. But there are things that I wanted to walk away with, and I did. So let's start out with my girls from Toad Hollow. You guys know I love the ladies from Toad Hollow. I bought this beautiful project bag. It has a handle on it, and it's really cute. It's got a big button here, and it just folds over, and it buttons. And so I just really liked it. Actually, Franny was kind of having a meltdown when we got to their booth, and they are so nice to my daughter. They're wonderful ladies. And so they said to me, I think we can make her smile with a bunch of pom-poms. And you know what? If that makes my daughter smile, I will buy a ton of pom-poms. So Franny picked out this project bag, and then she picked out these, which they kind of remind me of like in Gremlins when Gizmo gets wet and the bad gremlins start popping out. So I was like, but they're kind of unicorn colors. And I like that they're not real fur. I don't like to use the real fur pom-poms, even though I think they're gorgeous. But So I think they're going to look really cute. I was thinking, I bought 3 because she was really having a meltdown. But I was thinking I'd make her a hat and put them like this. So she'll get like that, and then I get one. But instantly, hey Franny, do you want pom-poms? Yeah. So she just stopped her meltdown and was good for the rest of the day. So Toad Hollow sisters, thank you so very much for stopping my toddler from melting down. I will always visit your booth whenever you have one, wherever you are. Thank you. I love their stuff, guys. Toad Hollow is great. ToadHollowNJ.com, I believe. Let's see. Yes, Toad Hollow NJ. Then we went to the bead booth. They had a lot of beads there. And the bead booth was called Bead Biz. And the ladies that worked here were so kind, again, to my daughter. I was like, let's go buy some beads. And she was like, yeah. And I always try to make sure she doesn't touch anything, but she was touching, and they were so nice about it. They gave her a basket with a little monster on it. And if you watch my video, the video is going to be coming out. It was just a really cute moment. They were playing with her, and I just couldn't have asked for more. But I got to buy the most gorgeous beads, which I think I might start making stitch markers. So I have a ton of beads, and I bought these. And I mean, aren't they just beautiful? I think Franny picked out some of them. I mean, like, look at these together. Yes, yes. So these are, you know, bunches of seed beads, but they're thicker. And I'm really happy with the quality of them. They look like they're really straight. Sometimes you buy beads and they're drilled crooked and they sit crooked in your project. So if you are going to buy beads, buy good beads. If you're in the city, Beads World is really great. There are some other bead stores that I really, really love in the city. There's actually a bead district. It's in the garment district. Yeah, beads have a district. Because there are so many people that make jewelry in the city. Anyway, after the bead booth, I found the pink tent. Now, what is the pink tent, guys? The pink tent was Chelsea Yarns, and it was full of Chelsea Lux and Christina and Miriam and all the people that work and love Chelsea Yarns. Red Bank Mike, Miriam's daughter Mariah was there, and the Knit Owl was there, and I have such a good time with these people. And while I was in the booth, Gigi came by, and Sparkle Knot, and Nick Witch was with me, and Vital Lifestyle, and it was so much fun. It was so much fun. Every time I see Christina, I just can't stop laughing. So wait till you see all that footage. I took a lot of footage, so my whole video from New Jersey Sheep and Wool is pretty much about her. But this is what I picked up from her. A bunch of Chelsea Lux. These ones are in her skinny singles. These two are going to be a girl's best friend shawl. And I have to pick up the yellow that goes with it, but she didn't have any in singles. So as soon as she has that, these colorways are ballerina shoes. It's actually a really good name. And this one is London Sky. And this is a really pretty, like, white gray. And then I picked up this one, which was Pumpkin Pie. I don't even like pumpkin pie, but I really like skeins of yarn in colors that are pumpkin-y. I just really like it. And then this one is her famous Favorite Leather Boots, which is just this gorgeous yellowy mustard. And I really love this color. So this may be going into something else. Let's see, that goes there. So I picked up my shirt because, you know, honorary. I got a large for me and I got a small one for Franny. And I'm going to have to figure out how to make this small enough for her. But, you know, I'll just cut it up. It'll be fun. There you go. So, guys, I feel so honorary, you know? Red Bank Mike was only there for a couple minutes, and I think my mom was really disappointed because she was, like, all about meeting Red Bank Mike. And, you know, everyone was bringing them donuts because it was Cookie Gate, now it's Donut Gate, and I don't know. I'm going to their live taping on September 30th, and I am making my homemade gingerbread cookies for you, Red Bank Mike. I am making them for you, and they are delicious. They're really, really, really good. So, only for you, babe. What else? So that's what I got from Chelsea Yarns. And then I went and I got to meet Paige, guys. I got to meet Paige the Framer, which is like one of those life goals that I had, you know? And I loved her, like, immediately. I just wanted to, like, sit and knit with her forever. And so I got to cross 2 wonderful things off my bucket list. One was meeting Paige, and the second was picking up some legacy fiber arts, which I love these ladies. Like, I have loved them since I started back into knitting. I've been watching them since episode 1, and you know, Chelsea did the podcast by herself then. Little known fact. But I got these colors, and this is, what is it called? Easter Lily. And Franny picked it out. I have hair. Oh no, my hair is just falling out today. Okay, there we go. So Easter Lily, look at that, guys. I love it. And I don't know what I'm going to make for Franny out of it. I was actually thinking of making her a really cool mini version of some Stephen West shawl with it. So she actually has a Stephen West shawl. We were somewhere and he was giving away samples. I think I told you guys this story. And he was like, this is something I started and just never finished. And it was like maybe 12 inches by like 18 inches. And I'm like, oh, I'll take that for my daughter. And it's like, she has like this mini Stephen West shawl. I have to weave in the ends and block it, but it's from his needles. So if she grows up to hate knitting, like, I mean, I'm kind of nervous. Though, this is what she does now. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me finish with about Paige the Framer. So Frame and Fiber is her store, and this is her pin. And I had such a good time with her. She is just a ball of laughter, and I think we're going to do a podcast together at some point, because you just meet someone and you know you're like kindred spirits, and she's just so fun. You want her in your life. That's Paige. So Paige, I had a wonderful time meeting you. Thank you so much for all your hospitality and for showing me around your booth. And guys, if you can get to that store, please do. That is one of my goals for the winter months, because I don't try to drive down the shore during the summer. The parkway is just too nutty. It's like, it literally is a parking lot. You don't move. So I think I'm going to have to do that during the colder months. I'm going to come visit you, Paige. I'm going to come visit you. And we're going to sit in your store, and we're going to watch it snow. We're going to find our hygge. Because it's really nice when it snows on the beach, right? Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about, which is really classic Gemma Darlings. I had to take off my pom-pom party slippers. My feet are just sweating, so they work really well, apparently. You remember those, guys? My mom made those for me when I was going to Edinburgh, and I got to be in all the videos that Christy shot because everyone had made them except me. I was supposed to make them on the plane, and my mom stuffed those in my luggage. So I found them when we were leaving. We were in the airport, and I was getting my knitting out, and she had stuffed them in my bag. She also bought me these randomly. They look more like weapons, though. She got me personalized knitting needles from We Are Knitters. Look. They say Gemma Darling on them. And they're size 15s. And they kind of remind me of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I mean, I love my mom. I love when she surprises me with things. I don't know how I would use these. But they look like more of a prop, right? Maybe I should like put them on the wall like this. My daughter now is like, Mommy knit? Mommy knit? I knit. So she goes like this. I really can't wait to teach her how to knit. I hope that like my husband teaches her how to code and I teach her how to knit, because I don't know, I just want her to know these things. You know, even if she doesn't go into like anything creative or anything computerish, I feel like we're going to push all these creative things on her, and she's going to turn out like Alex P. Keaton, you know? She's going to be like the black sheep of the booth. She's going to be like, Mom, I'm going into finance, and then I'm going to have to like... Okay, so let's put those aside. Thanks for those, Mom. That's fun. Let's see. Do I have anything else to show you? Oh, yeah. So a couple days ago, no, yesterday, right? Yesterday, I was in the city just having a girls' night with 2 of my very best friends. One of my friends that moved to California, she was in for the night. And we were like, you know what? We need a really good girls' night. We got together. We watched the Mr. Rogers movie, which, guys, I was like in tears. I love this man. I love him. I really love him. If more people in the world acted like Mr. Rogers, this would be a magical place. But if you haven't seen the movie, please do. I think it just hit something on demand. It might have been on demand. I'm not sure. Anyway, I was in the city anyway, which means that I had arranged childcare. I thought we were getting together during the day. We got together at night, so I called I was like, Corrado, you around? And then Christy and I were texting and I was like, oh, I'm going to be in the city tomorrow. So he and she met me at Knitty City. And Knitty City is the store on 79th Street in the city on the west side. It is extremely famous. Nancy Ricci and Pearl and all of the wonderful people that work there are just incredible. It's a fun store. It's jam-packed. Like anything you're looking for is in that store. And they were having a trunk show. And the trunk show was for Murky Depths fibers. Let me show you. Murky Depths. See? And I picked up these 2 skeins on her Harbor base. It's called Lucia. Well, I'm Italian. It's called Lucia. Might be Lucia. She might have said Lucia. It's this deep berry tone. And I think I'm going to make a cipolla out of it. Somebody there had made a short sleeve cipolla, and I vowed never again to make a fingering weight sweater, but I really loved it, and we were trying to find contrasting colors for it. You know, Christy was trying to help me, and nothing really struck my fancy, and then I thought, what about this? I don't know. Now that I'm holding them up next to each other, I don't know. So I'll have to try it and see if that works. I don't know if this is going to work, but it might look really nice. Otherwise, I'm going to use something that's an oatmeal tone, I think. You know, nothing, when you're doing color work, I learned this on my Tecumseh. I don't want anything with speckles this color in it, because then when you're doing color work and one of the stitches is supposed to be a contrasting color, but it's this color, it doesn't look nice. So anyway, watch out for that. We'll talk about that later. That is part of my haul. And then I was just literally pulling random skeins off the shelf. I was like, these, oh, look at that. This is Hollyhock from Malabrigo. I believe it's Rios. And this is like my favorite color. I love berry tones. I don't actually have an FO in something like that though. And so I need it. And then I don't know, vintage brass. I mean, this is gorgeous. The skein was just beautiful. And so I thought I'd grab this. This is worsted. I could use this in my Thunderstorm taupe also. I don't know. I just loved it. So there's that. I have my colors. Yeah, I do. I have my colors. And then I want to make another Getting Warmer cowl. I may gift some of them for the holidays because it's a really quick knit. If you make it in, let's see, the Malabrigo Mitcha. Is that how you say it? Mitcha? 3 skeins of this. I think actually 2 skeins works, but I don't remember if I used the 3rd skein last time, so I grabbed it because they're actually pretty cheap. These are $16 each, and like for what we normally pay for yarn, that is not bad. So I grabbed 3 in the natural color. Like, I don't know if it's undyed, but it's a natural color. Let's see, what is it called? It's called Natural, and I thought this would be like a really, really nice one to gift, you know. So if you guys have teachers that you need to gift stuff to, I wore mine all winter and I loved it. So I think I'm going to make a bunch more, and every time I go to Knitty City, she has a really good array of this, and I buy 3 skeins in a different color. So I have 3 skeins of it on deck in like an amber tone to make, and I really am excited to wear that. Guys, I wear it every day. It fits right under your coat. You don't have to worry about the wrapping, and it's just, you can make the turtleneck as long as you want, but it sits nice, you know, over your clothes. So it's really just, you know, in the winter when you're like, everything's bulky and you're like, you feel like an Eskimo. Yeah. So anyway. Okay, so that's it for my stash questions. What does Christy call them? Stashquisitions. Yes, I can't say the word, but that's my stash enhancement, and it's pretty good. Let's hop into whips, and I'm actually getting really tired, so bear with me here. Guys, the body is off the needles. It's humongous. When you meet me at Rhinebeck, ask me if you want to fit into this sweater with me. You know, get right in it. We'll take a picture. The 2-headed Tecumseh monster. I have to block it still. I'm very happy with the way it came out. I really do. I think I should have used the third color, and like now that I see it finished, I should have used the third color. Because Chelsea's from Chelsea Knits, hers are very muted, so I really like that she only used the 2 colors. But in mine, I think it looks like there's too much of the amber when I look at it, you know? But you know I love my glazed pecan, so I'm not really upset with it. Let me just talk to you guys about the bind off for a second. When I bound off my Millie, I used Jenny's super stretchy bind off. And the yarn was an MCN. It was like really light, like a cloud. And I think that bind off made it it was just too soft, and like, it didn't give it any form. So when I went to bind off this, I really thought about the bind off. I was going to do the super stretchy bind off, but then I thought this is already really big on me, right? So I didn't want something that was just going to keep it, like, make it look misshapen. So I activated the EYF thread, which are all the ladies that we went to EYF with. And it was Espace Tricot and Kristen Vulenvine from the Yarngasm podcast, Stephanie from Asylum Fibers, Nick Witch, Christy Glass, Sissy, Creative Sissy, Les Knits, Leslie, and I asked everyone what I should do. Oh, and Dinah from the Knitting Place. And they all said to use Jenny's, but Kristen from the Yarngasm podcast said, when I bind off, I go up a couple needle sizes, like a needle size or 2, and I just do a regular bind off, which is just knit one, pull it next one over, you know, knit one, pull the next one over. Usually that makes something that's, it's a very taut bind off, which I don't usually like, so I was nervous about it. But when she said to go up a needle size or 2, I was like, you know, that's what I was thinking. It gave it a really, really nice bottom because it stretches, but it doesn't seem misshapen. Like, it stretches, but that's it. And I think if I used the Jenny super stretchy one, I think it would be like humongous. Like, hey, crawl into this sweater with me. But of course it still needs to be blocked. So I don't know. I think I'm just going to steam block it. I don't think I'm going to soak it completely because I knit it pretty loose. I knit the carries pretty loose. I mean, it's a little puckery here, but down here it's not. So I don't know. This skein and this skein were the same because I couldn't alternate like this skeins and then I couldn't have 4 skeins going at once. It just wouldn't have made it an enjoyable knit for me. So, and then I came in with a new skein at the bottom. It's so much darker. It's pissing me off. But guys, those are the breaks. It's a hand knit sweater. You know, it shouldn't be perfect because if you want a perfect sweater, then go to Barney's, you know? We make these because we love the knit. I don't know if I'm going to like the way it looks on me. I think Stacy from Stress Knits was saying this and I completely agree with her. I loved knitting it. I don't know if I'm going to like the way it looks on me, but I loved knitting it. And I loved knitting it so much. I mean, I'm taking a little break before I go to Slave Island, but I loved knitting it so much that I decided to make a Tecumseh mini for Franny. And I had to figure out the pattern by myself. So I took the medium that I had made and I literally cut the numbers straight in half. So, I mean, you cut the cast on in half, you cut all these things in half. And I figured out how many stitches I'll have at the end of doing the increase rounds, and which is usually, if you have 100 stitches, this is not the correct numbers, but if you have 100 stitches and you're knitting 2 and then increasing, you're going to have 150 stitches at the end because for every 2 you're adding 1. So I did that and I did all of the numbers and my mother was just laughing at me because she's like, you're so good at math. I'm like, I'm not good at math, but like I was able to do basic math. I don't know how Caitlin will feel about this. I mean, obviously I'm not going to sell it or anything, but if anyone asks me how I did it, like if it works, let's see if it works first. I took the short, I mean, I'll let you guys know how I did it. I should probably do a project page on Ravelry. Maybe I'll do that. But I did put in the short rows for the back of the neck. Usually, I think there are 4 short rows, and then you have to repeat them 3 times. So there were 12. So instead of doing that, I just did it 6 times. I just did 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 in each direction. And it did. It gave me like the little, the back is higher than the front. I tried it on Franny and she was crying, so none of the pictures are cute, but it fits over her head. And you know, kids have really big heads for their body. So I didn't want it to be some huge thing that, you know, fit, because I had to make it fit over her head, but I didn't want it to end up being super huge. So I had originally cast on with a smaller needle and I tried it on. I could not get it on her head. She's laughing and I'm going, ah! And she's like, Mommy, no. So I've been using the same size needle throughout. I don't really remember. Let's see. Can I read this? I'm using a US 8. And the reason that I'm using an 8 when the Tecumseh calls for a 6 is because I'm using Aran. Now, I met Marla when I was at EYF, and she was so wonderful. We almost got stranded in Paris. She has an apartment in Paris. She's like, you guys can stay with us if you get stranded. Like, she is the nicest person. And she goes to Lobby and me a lot when she's in Paris. And she said, do you want anything? And I said, yeah, I really want this yarn that she had made. I think she made a cardigan for her granddaughter, her grandson out of it, and it was gorgeous. And so I asked her to get me some, and this is the indigo color and the peanut butter and jelly. And it's Lobby and me, and it's knitting up so beautifully. It's incredible. I mean, look at that. Brio duo, right? And then I wanted to add a third color in Franny's because I thought doing the contrasting color and just the dark would be too dark on her. So I found this. This is Aran Wheat Harajuku or Harajuku, however you say it. I believe it's Harajuku because isn't that the way Gwen Stefani says it? And I follow the way Gwen Stefani says things. So it's Harajuku in hedgehog fibers. And it's a really pretty pic. Really pretty. I actually am in love with this skein. I was saving it to make a crocheted blanket for Franny's bed, but I think I won't be done with that until she's going to college, so I was like, use the yarn. Anyway, I'm using the same, I mean, the shields and the crosses or pluses are going to be really big on her, but it'll look cute, I think. So this is as far as I've gotten. Lately, I kind of just have been walking away from the Tecumseh because I really knit that body monogamously on the other one, and it was just, I'm tired of the pattern. I don't hate it. I'm just tired of it for a moment, so I just wanted to knit on something else. And so I started a sockhead hat. Oh, I am exhausting myself. Am I exhausting you guys? I'm really sorry. I had all of these minis from Machete Shop, and I love them. And so I caked them all up, and I took them to the pool with me because it's a really good portable knit, a porta knit. And isn't that pretty? And I just was like, Miss Sue is making a sockhead hat and I want to make one too. But I needed like more of a contrasting color, so I had this. This is Olan. And the color is Merlin. And we will talk a little bit about that later too. So these are the Machete Shop. And she's having a big update, guys. You should partake in that because she's got DK tweed that is just gorgeous. I'm never disappointed in her stuff ever. Anyway, want to see the hat? It's a little crazy because I decided to just freaky stripe it, so it's kind of like this. See? The other day I wanted to see what it looked like on, and I didn't trust myself with these short needles, so I put it on Franny's head like an idiot, and she goes, "Oh, Mommy!" And she pulls it down like a cowl, and all the stitches popped off the needle. And I was like, it was an exercise in parenting patience. I was like, "Oh, honey, can we just take that off?" And I sat there. She was playing the Caterpillar game, the Very Hungry Caterpillar on my iPad, which are great apps if you buy those. They're great. And she was sitting there doing puzzles, and I'm just going, oh, I'm trying to pick up the stitches, and she dropped it like 4 rows down. I mean, it was bad. And of course I couldn't find my great-grandmother's crochet hook. She used to make lace, and I couldn't find the #1, so I was doing it with a stitch marker. I was literally like picking at it, but I saved it. I saved my ugly sockhead hat. So I think those are all my whips. Oh wait, you guys want to know what happened with my Millie, right? Let me show you what I decided. This is my Millie. Guys, I frogged it. And I frogged it because I love the yarn. I respect the ladies who run Nice and Knit too much to waste their yarn on something that was ill-fitting. And it was my fault. It was not the pattern at all. I know a lot of people that have made the pattern. They love it. This is the yarn. I have one skein left. And it's called Scrubby Pines. I hope they start dyeing it again. It's so beautiful. And I am going to start over because I loved knitting it. So I don't even mind that I don't have a finished object for all the work I put in, because I'm going to start over and I'm going to make it. And I really loved it. So I need to get this yarn. I'm going to swift it up and I'm going to soak it and I'm going to dry it and see if I can get the kinks out. And you know what? If I can't, I'm just going to knit it up and love the way it looks. But I frogged it, guys, and I'm actually really proud of myself because I'm not a very fast knitter. And because of that, whenever I finish something, even if it has mistakes, I don't go back and fix them. And that's dumb. Like, if I'm going to put all the time in to make something, I should think back. Like, if something's going to take me like an extra day or two to make it right, like, I should make it right. And I didn't do that with this. I mean, I was about here when I figured out that I was on the wrong needle. And instead of starting over or bringing it back to the collar, I knit a whole sweater on the wrong needle just so I didn't have to go back. And that's dumb. So I'm like really mad at myself. You know, last year, remember, it was November, and I was watching The Punisher, which is like really violent and disgusting, but for some reason I liked it. Yeah, I'm not recommending it to you guys. I really like all the Defenders stuff, but it was disgusting. But for some reason, they get you to fall in love with the main character. I don't know how they did it. It was really good. Anyway, I remember that because I cast on while I was watching it. And my husband and I were watching it together. And I think that's why I forgot to change the needle. Because I was really, like, engrossed in it. It's like a sad story, I think. Anyway, it's living in my pink hazel bag. And it will stay there until I have time to start it and do it correctly. And so that's that. Let's talk about some projects I'm interviewing yarn for. And that is, I guess that's a term I coined. I don't know. I said it in one of my podcasts and a couple of people thought it was great. And you know what? It really kind of sums up how I feel about certain things. Like, I've decided that I want to make the Boho Blush by Andrea Mowry. And it's this really beautiful pattern. It's got so much in it. Feather and fan. It's got some brioche. And it's got stockinette. Is it stockinette or garter? I don't know. I have to read through it. I don't even know if I'm going to put the fringe all over it. But I just thought Christina made it out of one of her yarns. Christina from Chelsea Yarns. She made it in Chelsea Luxe. I don't know if she made it or someone else knit the sample, but she held it up on her last podcast and I was in love. And it takes 3 skeins of the same color. I have this beautiful raspberry color, but it's an MCN and I don't know if I want to make it in an MCN because it's very light and I want something with a little bit more weight to it. So I ordered 2 more skeins of this, which is Olan in Merlin. It's a sock yarn. And I know that I probably should be using a tonal for this, but I kind of liked this because I'm using the little nubbin of it in my sock head hat. And I really love the colors that I'm getting. Do you see the dark purple? That's it. And it has these just like little bits of pink will pop out of it. See? And I think that that will be a really pretty as a full-size shawl. So I bought 2 more skeins of it and 2 more skeins of something else. And I think it's a beautiful color. So I'm going to attempt it. I don't exactly know what she means when she says that I'm supposed to use 3 skeins at once and use like, you know, keep going through them. So I'm going to have to figure that out because it says 3 skeins entwined. And I'm not sure how to cast that on. So I am going to have to either ask her or look at something on Instagram. But, I mean, if you guys want to fade this, it's a great shawl to fade. It's really nice and big and drapey. And that's what I really like about it. So that's that. And so I am interviewing yarn for it, but I think I've picked what I want. I just have to knit a swatch. And my swatch is going to have the feather and fan in it and brioche in it, so I can see what it's going to look like with the stitches that that pattern calls for. So I thought that was actually pretty smart. You guys probably all knew that already, but but I just thought of it, okay? So then we're going to talk about my Thunderstorm toque. I'm still looking for yarn for this. I do think that the Chelsea Luxe in the leather boots is a contender. I don't necessarily know that I want a hat in this color, so that is something I will have to decide, but I am still on top of this one. And then I'm looking to cast on a weekender sweater, because I've really, it's actually a funny story. I was thinking about designing a sweater that was a boat neck sweater that you knit in pieces and then you just seam it together. And then literally 2 days later, she came out with this and I was like, yes, I don't know how to design. So you made the sweater that I wanted to make and I really appreciate it. So it was really funny. I don't know how, it was just like, I don't know, but it was like 2 days apart. I remember I texted Kelly Friel, Fashion School Dropout. I was talking to Kelly Friel from Fashion School Dropout, and I said to her, you know, you want to help me design something? This is what I have. And I was drawing it, and I was like a boat neck, just like a boxy sweater. It's a boat neck, and with the sleeves, you know, that come off the top. And then she's like, yeah, let's do it, let's do it. And like, I remember like 2 days later, I was like, oh, Andrew did it for us. So cool. But I really do want to make it because I want the sweater. So I'm interviewing yarn for that right now. As I said, I may employ the glazed pecan for it. So I think that should be something that's a very flat color, but I may find ones that are a really different dye lot so that it looks a little bit striped, because I don't want it to be a very flat sweater. You know, I think it's reverse stockinette, so that'll be cool. So that's it. That is what I am doing. So I received a really good belated birthday present from Miss Glass. She sent me this and I was just completely in awe. I don't know if she made it herself or if she got it made, but it's all Rifle Paper Company fabric. And it's quilted, guys. It's like really, really cool, and it's thick and sturdy, and I love it. I love it. Thanks, Chris. I really love it. And I've been carrying it around. Kind of around the house, which is how I use a lot of my tote bags, because with the baby, I throw stuff in a bag because I need all my arms to carry the dog and the baby. So lately it's been my house purse, and I love the inside. Look at this fabric that she put in the inside. And I got this really, really gorgeous card from her. Happy belated birthday! Which I think is just really funny. And I love our friendship, so I really appreciate this. Thank you for celebrating my birthday. Thank you. Next year's the big one, lady. Yeah. I think she only has like, oh, you have like 6 months left. Ooh. I'm younger and I always will be. I'm looking at my show notes. I'm looking down. Let's see. So guys, did you get your copy of this? Do not miss out on the printing of this. They are in their second printing. If you don't have this, get it. Every pattern in this is absolutely exquisite. It's stunning. It is. I used to be in publishing, like, you know, I was the editor-in-chief of my college newspaper, and so I've never done anything like this, but I would love to. Oh, if I lived near the Pom Pom girls, I would make them hire me. I like love them. And I just subscribed because I actually think it's just a better deal if you subscribe. It also helps publishers because that's their budget from the subscriptions. Like, they don't know what they're going to sell on the newsstands. They can only speculate. But when you subscribe, that is part of their budget. So I always think it helps to subscribe. And I'm going to keep up with the subscription because these little books that they are producing are gorgeous. And this was the Moon issue, and we all know that this is the sweater from, I believe her name is Catherine, from Brooklyn General. I've never been to Brooklyn General. That is on my bucket list. But guys, I mean, the model is perfect. The sweater is perfect. Everything is perfect. I love this. I love it. The graphics are gorgeous. Even on the back. I mean, it's just, it's one of the most beautiful publications I think I've ever seen. And I am a Cancer moon child, so I love moon and stars. And you know, we were putting a new deck on our house, and I really can't wait till it's finished, because even in the fall, you know, I'll bundle up and you go sit outside on your deck and just look up at the stars, and I want to do that with Franny. The other day she looked and she was like, Mommy, there's a moon in the sky. And I was like, I didn't teach you that. And I'm really just, she's starting to like understand her surroundings, which is really wonderful to watch. But guys, get this. I mean, this sweater is really involved. I would love to make it, but I'm going to need to have everything else off my needles if I ever do. It's beautiful. So, great job. Seriously. I love it. I don't want to try to pronounce the name of it, though, because I don't want to get it wrong. But isn't that amazing? Yeah. Get this copy. If you buy a pom-pom this year, buy this one. Because I know that buying these little issues is expensive, you know? Well, I mean, this one's only $12.50 in pounds. I guess that's about $17. But it's worth it because it's like buying a pattern book. Let's see. Yes, Catherine Clark from Brooklyn General. I love it. I'm just so in awe of it. It's gorgeous. So, let's go over to the ball jar of fun. Today's Brio Duo of the week is, drum roll please, Hedgehog Fibers in Wish with Hedgehog Fibers in Monet. Now, you're going to wonder why they're not in skeins and they're in tiny little balls. These are part of Franny's Sunset Highway mini that my mom made her for Indie Untangled. That's right. If I finish the Tecumseh that I'm making for her, we're going to have 2 sweaters for Franny. I won't even have 2 sweaters. I don't think my mom will have 2 sweaters, but Franny will. So, Brio Duo of the week, 2 nubbins from Franny's Sunset Highway. This is actually a combination, though, I've been wanting to put together for a long time. So when my mom was picking yarn for it, she's like, what should we use? And I love Hedgehog Fibers Monet. It's a good color. But Hedgehog Fibers in Wish, it's just this dark saturated like turquoise. It's gorgeous. And they go together flawlessly. So that's your Brio Duo of the week. Gemma Darling approved. Brio Duo is a registered trademark of Gemma Darling Designs. No, really. I'm going to trademark it. All right. Is there anything else I want to tell you guys? Let's see. I'm just going to hold my show notes at this point. Let's, you know, get ready to wind down to say goodbye. You're already thinking about the next podcast that you want to watch. One of my other friends works for a company that is taking donations of hats and scarves, not used ones. I mean, unless you've made it and you've really never used it, but, you know, maybe once or twice. They give these hats and scarves, they make these gift baskets for the holidays for families that are dealing with HIV. Whether somebody in the family has HIV, they give it to that person, they give the basket to the families, they just, you know, whoever is dealing with it, because it is not something that has gone away. We've made major advances in the field of medicine concerning it, but it hasn't gone away. And so, you know, sometimes people just need something to brighten their day, something to help them. And so my friend works for a company that puts together these wonderful baskets, and they are looking for hand knit hats and scarves. And I think we can do this, guys. I think we can do it. They want like 2,500 or something. I know that I'm not going to be able to help them raise that many, but I thought we could do this. You know, I thought we could do it together. I'm going to get all the information. I'm going to make a separate video. So they have sizes that they need for children and for men and women. And so even if you've knit something that maybe you don't particularly like and you haven't worn, you're welcome to donate that, as long as they're clean and new. I would just really love it if you guys would help me fill these baskets, because I don't know, you know, it doesn't even necessarily have to be for the holidays. Like, if someone needs something, we should give it, right? Isn't that the kind of world you want to live in? You know, isn't that what Mr. Rogers would want? I'm really into Mr. Rogers, guys. I like love him. When he passed away, I remember it I was sitting at the dinner table and I heard it on the news and I cried. I was really upset. He was all of our first friend, right? He was all of us. He was our first friend. So let's try to live our lives doing what he would do. And so please help me fill these baskets. Knitting a hat takes like a week max, right? And it's like one skein of yarn, if that. So hats, scarves, whatever you're comfortable knitting, I think they would be appreciated by the people collecting the donations, and I will give you all of the information in a separate video, so just keep that in mind. I'm going to be asking for that. Okay, so I think that's it. I've talked your head off for I don't even know how long. I can't wait to see how long. I'm just trying to see, let's see, the next things I'm going to be at String Thing next week and next weekend, next Saturday. I'm taking a class that morning in Westfield, New Jersey at Urban Society. I'm making, let's see, I got my fabric. I'm making a tote bag this time. So I got Rifle Paper Company canvas, and they were having a sale. So I got 3 yards. I don't think I need 3 yards, but I need to find something to go with this. And I'm gonna make a big tote bag. So that's Urban Society. If you guys are in the area, great place to take sewing classes. And then I'm going to be going from there to String Thing. It's Cece's birthday, and so that's going to be fun. And, oh my God, I love my friends. I love my knitting friends. And then the week after that is Chelsea Yarns Live, and I am going. September 30th. I think they're sold out with tickets. I have no idea what the deal is. Tune into the Chelsea Pearls podcast if you want information on that. I kind of think they're already sold out, but then you can find out when they're going to be broadcasting. It's September 30th. I think it's at noon. I don't know if we're supposed to get there at noon or if they're going to broadcast at noon, but it's going to be live and it's going to be hysterical. So guys, I hope you'll tune in for that. I'll try to vlog that day, so even if you can't get there, you get a feel of what went on. All right, I think we covered a lot of territory today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being a returning viewer or a new viewer or just someone who loves yarn and wants to spend a little bit of time with me. I'm always so flattered that anyone tunes in. I love all your comments. Sometimes I don't get to respond because I really do forget, but I do read them all. And, you know, I have to pay attention to my kid. But keep the comments coming. Keep suggestions coming. Corrado and I have a podcast cooking. Cece has said she's wanted to do something with me and Corrado, which is going to be really funny if we ever get it together. Christy and I have something cooking. I can't wait to see you all at Rhinebeck. Have a great week. I will try to podcast again next week. I probably won't, but I'm going to try. All right. Until I see you guys again, thank you so much again. I just love you all. Have a great week. Okay, guys. Bye.